put it vertical and I had it horizontal because the last two, I put it vertical and it told me switch the rotation, the orientation. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, I should have known. When I really thought it wasn't going to do it, it did it. Oh my goodness. So hello and welcome, y'all. Y'all know it's always something going on over here. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do the intro to give YouTube time to notify people that I'm here because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Um, Hello and welcome. My name is Dion, and I call this the Crazy Troll Nation. Why? You just saw a glimpse of why I call this the Crazy Troll Nation. I think I turned these lights off last time. Yeah, I think I did. I look really yellow. What the hell? The crazy, just knowing it's okay to be your authentic self and not feeling like you need to act like someone or something that you're not. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards because you set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand, a certain tool, or a certain technique. Use whatever you want to, however you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Because here at the Crazy Troll Nation, the bottom line is self-acceptance and self-love. Embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you're not wearing face paint. Two things you need to know about me if you're new here. I do curse because I curse, and there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches. And I do try to always remember to say excuse me, whether I think you heard it or not. So I hope all of that resonates with you, except the gurgling and belching stuff. But I hope the being yourself part and loving yourself, I hope that resonates with you. Tonight's live stream is going to be interactive. And so, I'm sorry, I'm just reading this message down here. It's asking me something. But I do have a box to open, but I'm going to wait for more people to come in because this is going to be interactive. We're going to be talking about some life lessons that we've learned, and our lessons will be different because we're different people. And so I don't just want to, read off what my list is. Hey, Tanya, but also to hear what other people's life lessons are. Hello, Emmanuel. Hey, Maddie. And so for now, though, while we're waiting, we're going to open up a box that I received today from Bestie. And I'm just like, oh. And it was downstairs where other places usually leave mail. So thankfully I was going out today. And so I have a habit of just looking over there. And, oh, you are? Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. So this is where they usually leave other stuff. And so since I went out today, I have a habit of looking over to where they leave the mail on the ground floor. And I saw, I'm not going to show you the label, but the label is the entire length of the top of the box that she wrote. And I'm like, okay, that is clearly for me. And I can see that from over here. So I asked her, excuse me, I feel like something on the inside of my lip. So I asked her, was it okay for me to open during the live stream? And she said yes. And so, but I kind of wait to see if she's going to get here. Sometimes YouTube notifies people and sometimes it doesn't. And so in the meantime, I would like you all to start thinking about some of your life lessons from 2024. I have quite a few on my page, and I think some of them I may have said before. It is showing 13 people in here. So I'm hoping they comment so I know who they are. Because that's the only way I know who's here is from the comments. And so I do thank y'all that came in and commented. Also, thumbs up if you think you're going to enjoy this video. So yeah, I want to wait for her to come before I open the box. But I kind of want to dig in it because it's a big box. I don't know what is in here. I don't know what is in here. But I want to get into it. But so life lessons are things that happen to us that even if it's something that we would rather had not happened, it's still something that we can learn from it. And so when bad things happen, I'm not talking about like horrendous things, but say I get stuck in traffic, which has been happening a lot lately because it's near Christmas. I'm stuck in traffic, and instead of getting pissed off, I say, you know what? I'm safe. Nobody hit me. It's going to be okay. And so a life lesson for that would be just staying calm and know that everything is okay. And just to have patience. So, like with whatever's happening, just to be patient because it could be an accident up ahead. It could be lanes closed because of construction. Like, I don't know until I get to that point if it's not cleaned up by the time I get to that point. And so, life lessons can be anything, something to remind you to just be patient, something that can remind you to be nicer to people, kinder to yourself, even. Um, and just trying to find the good in whatever the situation is and learning from it and carrying that lesson, with you throughout your remaining years. And so this year has been a lot of learning lessons for me. A lot of things have been happening, which they always do. And hey, Locke, thank you. I appreciate that. And knowing that 2025 is going to be like, what the hell is happening? So just preparing like mentally for that because I don't think at this point anything would surprise me. I don't think anything politically would surprise me at this point. Um, and so much so that I was not surprised when, because I had mentioned before that under Amendment 14, you're disqualified from running for government office, including presidency, if you are in, or are an insurrectionist. And that's what January 6th was. That was insurrection. But they found that he was not guilty of that. And I'm just like, how did you find that he's not guilty of that? But so and I wasn't even surprised because I'm like, because we know by now how the government's being run. So anyway, so just learning to look at the history of things and how things are going and just learning from that, learning not to be upset over asinine stuff that happens, and also reminding ourselves that whatever does happen, we are going to be okay. And so that was something recently that I learned, was like, you know what, girl, we done been through some stuff in our time. We'll make it through. We're going to be okay. So I want you all to think about what are some learning lessons that you have had in 2024. And I do hope Grace gets here because I want to open this box so bad. Okay, so one thing I learned is it's not always the other person. Sometimes when things seem bad or the situation doesn't seem like what we would want it to be, sometimes it's not the other person. Sometimes it's me. And I'm not above being corrected or, whatever. And even when I volunteer my time, I got to do what they say. You know what I'm saying? I do have a little bit of leeway. Like they do give us, choices as a manager, like which way we take things. But for the most part, and those of you who still work, this, you just got to do your job. And so just to know that I'm doing the best I can with what I'm given and feeling good about that. And even relationship wise, like, okay, if it didn't work out, what was my part? Everything is not always the other person. Even if the breakup is something that I chose, I had a part in being there in the first place. I didn't have to be there in the first place. And so, we have free will, right? We make our decisions, we make our choices, and what we do with those choices is up to us. And learning, down the line, thinking back, why did I make that choice? Like, what the hell was I thinking? And so just learning that sometimes I am the problem. And I know I mentioned a lot that I know I have a way about me, a way of saying things, and people are like, oh my God. Like, I know I have that way about me. And I've been toning it down now for like over 20 years. But that's something that I continue to work on. And the main thing for me this year was creating and maintaining personal boundaries. And that is very important. And I had said in probably one of my mental health videos, I had said that people treat you how you allow them to treat you. If somebody is mistreating you, well, I'll speak about me. If somebody is mistreating me and I stay, at some point, I'm not a victim. I'm a volunteer. So I need to make a choice of what's going to happen. And so creating boundaries can be easy. Maintaining them can be hard because we will be tested. And so I would like for y'all to chime in. I know Locke is listening in. And now a lot of people popped in and a lot of people left. But if you're here and you're able to comment, I would love to hear, does that hold true for IPV? What's IPV, Tanya? I don't know what IPV is. So you're going to have to let me know what that is. Um, but if it's a lesson that you learned, and a life lesson, because it's a lesson that will you carry with you the rest of your life. It's not one, oh, intimate partner violence. That's a tricky question because it's very nuanced. Because what if they don't have anywhere to go? What if they call a shelter? The shelter is full. What if their partner is a police officer and they can find them anywhere they go, kind of thing? And also there is a history of law enforcement not being seen as someone who would do that type of thing. It's overlooked, and there is a high rate of DV in law enforcement relationships, but it gets swept under the rug, and so it's hard to say because there's a lot that goes into when you're being physically abused, because if you're dependent on that person, you might feel like you have nowhere to go. You may feel like you have no help. And a lot of times they don't want to tell people, hey, I need help. Like, he's beating my brains in every weekend when he drinks and I need help. They feel ashamed. They may feel like it's their fault. And I'm not saying it is their fault. What I'm saying is that when you realize, okay, this person is treating me bad, that's the time to start thinking about your options to get out. If you voiced how you feel and they're just like, I don't care what you say, I'm not going to change, this is how it's going to be, then that leaves it up to that person to make a choice, and it is a hard choice. And so I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm just saying that when you realize that someone is mistreating you, and you know, all right, the history is every weekend he drinks and then he beats me up. Right? You know that. You've been with this person 2-3 years. This is how it's been for the last year. Every weekend he gets drunk and beat me up. Hey Grace, I'm glad you're here, Grace. I've been putting off opening the box you sent me. I'm like, oh, she comes soon because I want to open this box. If it is like it's a very predictable pattern. Either you make a change or you don't. And it can be very challenging. And of course, y'all know I'm an advocate for therapy. So that would be the first thing I would say is to get therapy. Because even if I don't think there's any reason for a person to like physically injure their spouse. Like, I just don't. If it's that bad, go outside for a walk, punch the wall, something. Don't beat up your partner, this person you say that you love. But there are relationships like that. And I know people who have been in relationships like that and they stayed for a long time. And I was just like, why? I hear it takes 7 times to leave. It takes more than that, Tanya, for some. The people I know who were in situations like that, it went on for years. And it was known that it was happening. Tanya says, I can't count how many times I left before it stuck. I can't count how many times I left before it stuck. And it's a shame. That's what it is, because a lot of times people do feel like they're alone, they don't have anywhere to go, and they might feel embarrassed or ashamed, and they don't want to leave. And also, physical abuse can also go hand in hand with mental abuse, because they're telling you all this negative stuff. Grace says her mom left the first time and never went back. Yep. And so they may tell you, okay, it's your fault. The food was too hot. It's your fault. That's why I hit you. And unfortunately, sometimes whatever they're telling you and they're saying is your fault and they're gaslighting you, sometimes people start to believe it. So they start to feel like I deserve this, and they don't. And so that's another thing too. And that's why it's such a touchy subject, talking about, domestic violence and what to do about it. Because if you really believe you deserve it, you will have no motivation to leave. Because you're like, I deserve this. You know what I mean? And so it's very challenging. And so I want y'all to think, what are some of your life lessons? But I am still an advocate of you teach people how to treat you, because like Grace has said, her mom left the first time. That was it. She learned that lesson and she was gone. But if you stay for years and years and years, it becomes a habit. It becomes a part of your routine. You already know what's going to happen. And so it's just like, okay, this is my life and this is normal, which it's not. Well, it shouldn't be considered normal. But, you know, it's very hard. Even when I worked with the addiction population, when I was directing an addiction program, send people away to treatment. They would leave treatment early, come back. Next thing you know, they're coming back seeking help again. They want to go away again. And they have said it takes probably like 4 or 5 times for people to go to treatment before they stay and come out and stay clean. And so some people considered it a waste of money. So you're sending this person away to treatment just knowing that chances are they're going to ditch and find their way back home and back on the street. It's like, yeah. And it was just like, okay. But, you know, we were there to help. And unfortunately, that's a routine too. But that's different than somebody doing something to you. They were like harming themselves by using whatever substance they were using. But that's something that's very touchy. And so even with like mental abuse and verbal abuse, that can be challenging too, because it's harder, I think, when you depend on that person for your livelihood. And back in the day, you know, the husband was the breadwinner. Thank you, Darshan. Thank you for popping in. Where the husband was the breadwinner and the wife was home, take care of the house, take care of the kids. And so she didn't have her own money. There were times back in the day, women couldn't even buy property. Women couldn't even open their own bank accounts without their husband signing on it. And so it was really, okay, you got married and you were stuck with this man to take care of you and the kids. You couldn't work because he said don't work. So it's like, where am I going to go with 3 kids? You know what I'm saying? And so Cloud and Townsend have great books on this. And so it can be very nuanced. And for those like Grace Mom, you know, one and done, that's it, dude, I'm out. It doesn't always happen that way, and it's really sad. And when people drill into you, you deserve this is your fault, your self-esteem is so low at that point, like you actually believe that you deserve to be treated like garbage. And I applaud those who one and done, I'm out, because the longer you tolerate it, the more it's going to keep going. Tanya says Safe People is a great book. And having a good support system and being willing and feeling safe enough to share what you're going through with your support people, because there's been situations where someone's like, oh, this has been happening for 4 years. What? I never knew. Like what? People don't want to say. But so I'm going to open this box. I do have my box cutter here, and I do want you to think about like what some of your life lessons have been. And so I was just saying how we teach people how to treat us. If you continue to let somebody mistreat you, they don't have any reason to stop. You know what I mean? It's up to us to make a change, whether it's the first time or the 10th time, because we know by then they're not going to change. And it can be a hard decision, especially if there's kids involved or if you're completely dependent upon this person. It can be challenging. And it's things that we learn over time to look out for when it comes to, you know what, Grace, I forgot. I had completely forgot about this. It's a... I was like, what is in this big box? I had completely forgot. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I see a brush in here. Y'all, she done sent me a bag. And this is so cute. And this is one I would carry with my jeans, because y'all know I am not fancy at all. Y'all know I am not at all fancy. And I'm like, I don't really go to fancy places because I ain't fancy. And I like that it's a crossover too, because y'all know I like to keep my hands free, and it's adjustable. This is really nice. Let's see what it says on here. This is Nathaniel Noor, one of his bags. So this is a designer bag. This is so cute. Oh my gosh. And I will use this. And I like that it's square. I love that it has a zipper because I'm clumsy. I don't want to drop it and everything fall out. And there's stuff inside the bag. So there's another... How many 50 brushes you gonna send me, bestie? Another highlighter brush. And a Sigma brush, the E49. And I do like the one I have because it's thin and tapered. That big fluffy one, I'm just like, what in the world? Like, this is a blending brush. I'm just like, So I do like the E49, and I do use this one that I have because you sent me one before. But this one I really like. Thank you so much. And there's more. There are... This is Velvet Matte Lipstick from Cosmic Beauty. I don't have anything at all from Cosmic Beauty. Ultra creamy, velvety, smooth formula. So we're going to see what this looks like. It says Nancy, so I guess this is Nancy. Why am I saying Nancy like that? Oh, this is oh, y'all know I like a dark lip. Y'all know. Y'all know. Thank you. Oh, and it's magnetic. You hear that? Oh, okay, Nancy. And we have 2 cream blushes. Thank you so much, Grace. And a lot of stuffing in here to make sure the bag keeps its shape. And there's an inside pocket. This is cute. I had completely forgot. I was like, what did she send me in this big box? Thank you. Thank you, bestie. So we have 2 cream blushes. Yeah, she does know me well. Tanya says, I agree with that on some level, but I certainly didn't teach him how to treat me. When I say that, I mean, if you're with someone and they curse you out, and you're like, I don't like it when you talk to me that way. Next couple days, the next week, they curse you out again. You tell them, I don't like when you talk to me like that. Another week go by, they curse you out again. As long as you keep tolerating it, they're not going to change. That's the point that I'm making. And yes, it can be different in different situations, but for the most part, if you keep tolerating somebody's bad behavior towards you, there's no incentive for them to change. That's the point that I'm making. And not that it's our fault that they treat us that way, but if we keep dealing with it, why would they change? Why would they change? They're going to keep doing that because there's no consequences for their behavior. So this one says blush butter. Oh, I don't know what blush butter is. Okay, so we're going to open up blush butter. Oh, I dropped the plastic piece. Oh, look at this. Oh, my word. Y'all know I want to swatch this stuff so bad because I have never, I don't think I've ever had like a purple blush. The other one, oh, what's that called? This one is called Heroin. So this is Heroin. Ooh. This one time, this was way back. This one is Got Chills. That is so different. I like that purple. It is. Didn't forget that honeymoon period. Yep. Or like if somebody mistreats you and you just kind of like downplay it. Oh, it's okay. It's all right. No, it's not. So this has Got Chills. Ooh. This is pinky. You know what I just thought about? Like doing an ombre cheek with the pink and the purple. I have powder on my face now and blush and highlighters and stuff, but I kind of want to put these on. I think we might put these on. And I got a piece of paper towel here. We're going to put that lippy on. People have a way of when they mistreat you and when they know that they're mistreating you, they have a way of making it seem like it is your fault. And there's some people who will actually believe it. Oh, it's like the MAC lipstick. I'm going to put it on. You know that's my color. I like dark lips. And so that's why I'm saying treat people how to treat you. If they're treating you well, you're like, wow, thank you. I really like that you opened doors for me to get in the car. Because that's positive reinforcement, right? So if you keep telling people what you like, as they do it, they'll do it more. That's the concept. That's the concept. So we're going to put on Nancy. Why am I thinking A Nightmare on Elm Street? This is so smooth. And y'all know I'm a liquid lipstick girl, but this is so smooth. Oh my gosh. Wow. Looking where you are, it looks almost reddish. All these darn lights. I did turn off the two little lamps because I remember last time, I forget who it was. I was like, you look really yellow today, and I think I still look yellow, but y'all said it looked better without those two little lights. Oh my gosh, Grace, this is beautiful. Thank you. And it's always a challenge for me how to get them on without getting them like. Oh my gosh. This is pretty. It's definitely brown. The light's making it look reddish. This feels so good. Y'all can tell I'm not used to bullet lipsticks. I can't even get on my lip right. Y'all, this is looking crazy. But it's so pretty. Y'all. So maybe I'll wear a lip liner with this just so I know where to stop. Because this is looking crazy. This is nice. This is pretty. Thank you. Wow. So let me see. Let me see. Now this is just a ring light. Ooh. I like Nancy. Nancy's my friend. I just realized that's why I said, y'all know I like liquid lipsticks. It just takes so much, as you see, for me to put this on. It was like, it's very creamy. Ooh. Excuse me, it feels like there's nothing there. I'm going to put these blushes on. So tell me something a learning lesson that you have from 2024. These are the F43 from Sigma. How many of these do I got? Did I use one for this look? I got a lot of these. So we're gonna put these blushes on over top of what we got on already. And the PAO is 12 months for the blushes, and I don't know how many months for the lipstick, but I'm gonna find out. Sometimes I have to take a picture and then enlarge it to see. So what's a learning lesson that you all have from 2024? Or from before that, if you can't think of anything from this year. But I do have some stuff. I have a list, but I want this to be interactive so we can learn from each other. So we're going to take blush butter. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to put this up here. You know what I should have did? I should have put more powder on just to tone down. You can see it though. To tone down the blush and bronzer and highlighter I have on. That looks pale, but you know what? That's pretty. I do look really yellow. I don't know what's happening. So we're tapping it over here. It does show up. This blush is Cosmic Beauty. I don't have anything. Well, I did not have anything from Cosmic Beauty until now. And the lipstick is also from Cosmic Beauty. Thank you, bestie. This is bright. Well, light, I should say. And looking in the mirror down here, because it's darker down here, it looks very pink. I turned on the lighted mirror, and we turned off the ring light. So it's definitely very pink. So I turned back on the ring light and turned off the lighted mirror. I bet you can mix both shades. That's what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do an ombre first and just see what that looks like. And then probably mix them. So this one is blush butter, not butter. I say butter. Hey y'all, guess what? I did it again. I went and bought some more groceries, and I actually turned on my freezer and put some of the stuff in the freezer. And I was thinking the other day, I need to plug it in and make sure the darn thing works. And it got cold fast. This one is blush. Wait a minute. Both of them ain't blush butter. Wait a minute. Where's the shade? They both say blush butter. Oh, you know what is on the packaging? Got chills. Why is it not? Y'all know I'm gonna put labels on this. So which one is which one? Heroin is the purple. I do remember that. Okay, heroin is the purple. The pink one is got chills. It's just weird that it's not anywhere on here. But it is what it looked like. Yeah, I just said that, Tanya. Heroin is the purple one. You were probably typing it as I said it. So we're gonna take a clean brush. Yeah, that's like, and it may be since I have powder and stuff on that it's looking kind of ashy a little bit, but it's only looking ashy back here. Like up here, it looks fine. So we're gonna go into heroin. So what's the learning lesson that one of you have learned that you don't mind sharing? Because I don't want it to just be me. So this is heroin. So I'm gonna put this back here. Oh, that gradient, y'all. Y'all know I like my bronzer gradients. Oh, so you see, what was that color? You see got chills here, and then you see heroin back here. Yeah. I do like this. Oh, and I was hoping that's what it's going to do. And I said I'll do an ombre cheek. And it picks up, I only tap twice. And so we're going to just put this back here. Thank you, bestie. And this is how I wear them. Like I always do the two bronzers, and I bring one all the way up and then a darker one right here. That's what I'm going to do with these two blushes. And if I want to go heavy, I can underpaint with this because it is dark. I want to see how dark it'll go, but I don't want to be looking crazy. This is a nice, yep, this is what I thought it was going to do. When I said I can do an ombre cheek. And if I want to be fancy, I know I'm feeling myself now. Am I yelling? Am I yelling? If I want to be fancy, lavender blonde to set it. Let me get a clean brush. All right, lavender blonde. You know what? Wait a minute. Where's So somebody let me know. So this is lavender blonde against got chills, and lavender blonde against heroin. So we're going to put lavender blonde on to set this just to see what it's going to look like. But I do like this though. But I can see me going super heavy with this to underpaint. It does. And that's how the ombre look is supposed to. It's supposed to look like it's just blending in. And it looks like it's one shade even though it's two. Like even when I do my bronzers that way, like people don't know it's two different bronzers. They're just like, oh, it looks nice. I'm like, yeah, thank you. So, Joe said that's what she was thinking, lavender blonde said it. So this is a Sigma F11, the soft scope brush. So we're going to tap in. And we're going to tap. Oh my gosh. It made it look more purple because I am tapping all of it, even up here where got chills is. So this is heroin, got chills, and this is both with lavender blonde. It made this look a little more punchy. That is pretty though. I can still see the gradient, and you can still see the highlighter from earlier up here too. Wow, y'all, thank you. And a cute little bag, and I will use that bag. Because for me, it's either I use a small bag or a big bag. Like I don't have an in between. I need to do a short for my Val duffels, my Coach bags that are in my Macari store. So this is what we got. That is cute. Tanya says she sees got chills along the perimeter. Yeah, like up here, right? Hey, I got me a new combo cheek situation. Wow, this is really nice. Thank you, Grace. I really appreciate it. I really forgot. I was like, what is in this big box? She's so cute. And I wear jeans a lot, so this will be perfect. Because what I do now is, when I went out earlier today, I put my wallet, my business card holder, my phone, and my keys in my pocket. This is the perfect size for that. Because I didn't want to carry a big bag, so I just stuffed everything in my pockets. But this would be perfect for that. Thank you. And it's a crossover, and I love having my hands free. I'm from the hood. Y'all got to have my hands free. I don't know what's going to happen. I need to be ready to tackle whatever. Thank you so much, Grace. I am so excited. I really have forgot what it was. So who has a learning lesson from 2024? I'm gonna do my labels for this stuff later. This lippy feels like it's nothing on. It feels extremely comfortable. It feels like nothing is on my lips. I really like this. It feels nice. So nobody learned anything this year? Okay, well, the other thing I learned, and most of this is revolved around boundaries that I created for myself. Like what's the point between, what's the line between what people do and what I will accept? That's a boundary. I learned that I'm not going to force situations. That's a good one. That's a good one. And I was thinking earlier, because I forgot that I had notes. And so when I was driving, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Like, what lessons did I learn this year? And I was thinking about how I always say, you know, I'm learning to pay more attention to my gut, which is your instinct. And even now, I'm going to do what is necessary and keep it moving. Yep, that's a good one, Tanya. And I was thinking how, like, my gut will say one thing, but because my intellect isn't able to rationalize it, I'm just like, let's just see. And then it turns out, yeah, I should have never did that. And so I've been learning that more and more. It's like, just pay attention. I don't know if I shared this story before or not, but my second marriage, the day of the wedding, the pit of my stomach was like, don't do it. And so much so that I was walking with the bridesmaid. We were outside walking into the church, that I had stopped walking because it just hit me like, don't do this. And I was just like, where'd that come from? And so I stopped walking because it kind of shook me. I was just like, whoa. And so she stopped and she looked. She said, what's wrong? I said, I shouldn't be doing this. And she's like, oh, girl, you just got cold feet. You'll be fine. And you know what? We divorced. So when I said in the video before that it wasn't all him, because I had a factor in that, because number one, I shouldn't have accepted the proposal when I did, and number two, the day of, it was really like, don't do this. It's almost like I heard it audibly, and that's why I was just like, whoa, and I stopped walking, and I still did it, and look what happened. You know what I mean? And that was in 2005, I think. And so even from that, sometimes something will still be like, don't do it, and I'll still do it because I can't rationalize it, because I thought, hey, Janessa, you're multitasking as usual. Wanted to pop in while I'm working on last minute projects before vacation. Before I forget, Janessa, and I'm thinking you might forget, that Too Faced Ethereal Translucent Powder that I had, I took some out and put it in a smaller container for my Pro Kit. And so what was left over in the Too Faced container, I sent that to you, because it makes me look a little ghastly, like kind of how I look now, which is strange. And so I did put that in your box. So even now, because I couldn't rationalize it, because I'm like, oh, he's been nice and he's a gentleman and he does this. Like, there was nothing I could say. You're welcome, Janessa. There was nothing that I can pinpoint and say, that right there, no, that's a negative ghostwriter. Everything was fine, but something was like, don't do it. And because I'm trying to think of why not, there was no why nots. And then I didn't. And then look what happened. So like after the fact, I was like, oh. So the spirit in me knew, but my intellect was like, there's no reason not to. Like, what do you mean? You crazy. And so I am still learning to, when I have those don't do it moments, to just don't do it, because I FAFO'd. For real. And I was just like, wow, like something was like, don't do it. And then I lived through all the reasons why I shouldn't have did it. And so I don't badmouth him, because I made a choice. You know what I mean? And it was up to me. Going back to the first lesson, it went back to me to make a choice and to make a decision that I'm not going to let somebody keep mistreating me. Yeah, so I don't know if it's myself or my intuition or the spirit inside of me. Like, I don't know what it is, but I definitely really need to just tell me one time, don't do it, and then I just don't do it. But that's been like an ongoing lesson for me. And even this year, my boundaries are a whole lot better, and I talked about that, I think the last live. And so, what's something else that self introspection is key? It is. And so, and that's what I was saying earlier too. Like when something bad happens, like pick it apart and analyze it. And I can't be like, oh, he. I said yes. So that was a me thing. So everything was not the other person. That's just how he was. But because we got married so quick, I didn't see I didn't see the shit storm. You know what I mean? Janessa says, "Oh, I feel that I had a moment early on with my ex-husband feeling like he wasn't a good match, but I also chose, yup, the FAFO because my intellect was trying to rationalize, and there was nothing wrong for me to pinpoint and say whatever. Like everything looked good. So I'm just like, what? I found out. I found out. But so that was the main thing, and I do admit, sadly, that there are still times I'll have that feeling, but then I'll still do it, and then I'm just like, when am I going to fucking learn? Like, how many times? How many times is this going to happen? And not the same exact thing, but how many times am I going to not listen because what I'm seeing and what my mind is processing is saying go for it, but then you have this voice inside you that's saying don't do it, and you're like why, and it doesn't tell you why. So it's just like, okay, you tripping, girl. No. You tripped and fell and said yes, that's what you did. Oh my gosh. So that's an ongoing thing because for me, y'all know if y'all been here, I love for things to make sense. And just saying don't do it and you don't tell me why not to, and where's the sense in that? You know what I mean? So, and that's my struggle because I want to understand things. I pick apart things and it's like, okay, well, what is it? And it looks like one thing and it turns out that it wasn't. That something inside of me knew, but my intellect didn't know that. So, and I think that happens a lot, unfortunately. And then too, we want things like once we get in it, we want it to work. And also, y'all, I don't know if I ever shared this. This was fucking nuts. I was just like, what the hell? So, got married. The next morning, when I woke up, I was laying in bed and I woke up. And the first thought that went through my mind was, how did I get here? And then my second thought was, why are you asking that question? It was the day after the wedding I woke up. I said, how did I get here? Like, what the fuck did I do? And then I'm thinking, why would I think that? So it was still just like early on, it was just like, and I'm like, well, I made a commitment and y'all know I'm committed to a fault. So I'm like, let me just do what I can. But I had to make that choice and roll up out of there. But it was just really weird. Like, why the day after your wedding would you wake up and be like, how did I get here? Like, who does that? And by then it was too late. Well, we could have gotten an annulment, but yeah, it was just nuts. And so, yeah, and again, that is one of my ongoing struggles. Now, if something is blatant, I know to run away. But if everything looks good, I'm like, what do you mean? But I can say I am more aware of red flags. I can say that. I am more aware of red flags. And as I get older, my tolerance gets lower. And so it makes dating very difficult because I'm just like, excuse me? When somebody sends me a message and I'm like, and my reply back will be, what's your name? Because they send a message and don't even introduce themselves. And they teach us that as children. Say, hi, I'm so-and-so, what's your name? So you just send me a message and my reply is, what's your name? So that I'm already turned off. Because like you don't have the sense to introduce yourself. And then I wonder, like, am I being too hard on people? But then I don't think so, because that's like just basic, right? Hi, Dion, I'm Wayne. I read your profile, blah, blah, blah. No, they just jump in and stuff like, and I'm like, who are you? Like, what? So I don't know if that's a me thing, but I'm just like, you learn this as a kid to introduce yourself. So why are you just messaging me like we've been talking for like a year? Like, but Janessa says, I'm such a fixer. I see red flags. My brain says, project. My brain is like, girl, you better go. But like the older I get, the easier it is because and what it is too is that being my age and trying to date, it's like, dude, you my age or older, you should know better. Like you're not in high school. Like you are a fully grown, well, your body's fully grown. I don't think your mind is grown up yet, but you look like an adult. Like you should know better. So I'm really just like, no. It makes dating very challenging. Like seriously, because I'm just like, because I don't think I have unrealistic expectations. I really don't. Run, Janessa, run. That's what Grace said. It's just like, dude, you should know better. And being a clinician by trade, I make it a point not to be somebody else's clinician. Like if you're trying to talk to me, I'm not your therapist. Like I don't want to have to be analyzing all your shit. You know what I mean? And so that turns me off when I start trying to figure somebody else out. I'm like, okay, that's a no, because I'm not your therapist. With you on that one, Janessa says great. Says Tanya, excuse me. So what other learning lesson have you guys learned this year or in times past? I've also learned not to give too much while not receiving anything in return. Because when we give out to other people, they give back to us. But if we have somebody that you keep giving out, and they don't give back, then you wonder why you feel crappy and you don't have no energy. It's because they done took it all from you. But did they really take it from you, or did you give it to them? Think about that. Did they take your energy, or did you give it? Think about that. Just like with dude, I could have been like, oh yeah, I could have hopped and jumped, but I'm like, no, I won't be free until tomorrow after 10. That was my boundary. I'm not going to keep inconveniencing myself for someone who doesn't reciprocate. And I was talking to my therapist about it when dude had said, that time frame doesn't work for him. He gets up 3:30 for work. He only works 5 days a week, y'all. So what does it mean you get up 3:30 for work? You don't work 7 days a week. You're off on the weekends. And not only that, y'all know I'm nocturnal. 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm still awake. He could have been like, oh, can I call you on my way to work? Sure, fine. But for someone not to even try to think outside the box, like if somebody really wants to talk to you, they're going to find a way. You know what I'm saying? So, and that would have been real easy. Call me on your drive to work. But I ain't say shit, but I'm just like, you're just confirming everything I thought. And so it's only so much that we can do without giving too much of ourselves. And when you give too much, that's when you start feeling down, you start feeling drained, or you see their name on your caller ID and all of a sudden you're just like, oh my God, they're calling me again. It's like you're not even excited to even talk to this person or to be around this person. And so it's like, why am I still here? Like, what's going on? Matching energy for energy. And it is a trade-off. It's a switch, because I might have a down day today, and Grace will be like, yeah, bestie, we got this, blah, 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 blah. And then next week she'll be like, girl, and I'll be like, go ahead, tell me what's going on. So sometimes it's like a trade, but it's reciprocated. Like, I know I can count on you when I'm down. I know I can share good stuff with you, and it's reciprocated. But it's the people who always take. But at some point, we stop being a victim and we start being a volunteer. If you're going to keep that up, you're not a victim anymore, because you know how they are and you know they're going to keep using you. So you need to make that change. And so when I do realize, like, okay, this ain't it. This is not it. I know I need to make a change. And so that's been a learning lesson for me too, is not to give too much. And too much is when you start feeling mentally drained and physically drained around whoever it is, or you see the call ID, you don't want to pick up the phone, and it's just like, damn, they're going to ask me for something again. Don't answer the phone, because you keep tolerating it, they're going to keep doing it, because that's what they do. So it's up to us to make that change. So that's something else that I learned this year, that I knew before, but then sometimes it's like, when you know somebody for so long, you want it to work, even if it's just like a basic friendship. And I've had to learn, I think I said in another live stream, I've had to learn it's okay to love people from afar. I still love you. I said this in the live stream too. Loving somebody doesn't mean tolerating them treating you bad. Hey, Sarah. Loving someone does not mean tolerating them treating you bad. It doesn't. And I've had people say that to me. I don't believe you breaking up with me. Boy, get out of my face. I will name off all the things that I've been told you wasn't right, and you still kept doing them. So bye. I stopped talking to someone who I felt was taking our friendship for granted, not talking them into 2025. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. And I kind of feel like that's where I want us to go by thinking about our learning lessons and carrying them over, so that next year not financially or whatever, because the economy is shit right now, but like personally and emotionally will be better in 2025 than in 2024, and we'll be better equipped to deal with whatever happens because we've learned all this stuff in 2024 and in previous years. And it's important to learn from life and what life throws at us and how we handle things. Like, do I need to get better at standing my ground, or we set boundaries for ourselves and then we keep breaking them? We need to work on that if that is the case. And I do have this on here too about loving people from afar, because I have people, oh, don't break up for me. You said you love me. I do, but that don't mean I gotta tolerate your bullshit. It really don't. I can love you over the bridge in New Jersey, because you gotta cross the bridge to get to Jersey from here. I'm like, I can love you from over there. You don't gotta be in my face. Yes, I love you, but no, I don't want to be with you. I love you, but I don't like you. I don't like how you treat me. And so, and for me, there is a difference. I can love you as a person and just really like get the fuck away from me because I don't like how you treat me, type of thing. And some people don't understand that for some reason. And that goes back to too, how teaching people how to treat you. Like, if I've never told you that I don't like you doing such and such and such and such, then how am I going to complain 2, 4, 5 years down the road? Because you've been doing it all this time. So we have to advocate for ourselves and speak up for ourselves when it comes to how somebody's treating us or the things that they're doing or whatever. So what else? Somebody else comment a learning lesson from 2024. Something else I learned this year was to challenge off-center perspectives and actions. And I always say I'm not above reproach. If it's something I say or do and you like, well, think of it this way, Dion, I will think about it. Like, if I really believe you have my best interest at heart, I will really think about it. But when something is really off and they know damn well is off, I'm not co-signing that. I will let you know as I walk away. Well, I'll tell you first and then walk away. Because sometimes I can tell somebody something that I think is not quite right, and I'll list reasons why I think is not quite right. And if they want to have a conversation about it, we'll have a conversation about it. And then if they don't and they just want to give excuses, okay, we're done, because you're not even open to having a conversation. And that goes back to, like when I said it's not always the other person. In this case, it is. But if they think they're above being corrected, it's nothing I can say to you. I don't even want to keep wasting my breath on you. But we have to know where that line is for us. Like, how long am I going to try and convince this person that their shit stinks? Like, whew. And it can be challenging. I will say this, being in the alternative community, I have learned so much about different people. I know people who are transgender. I know people who are non-binary. I know people who are gender fluid. I know people that, every other month they switch one gender to the next gender. And it's just like, okay, who are you this month? Like, help me understand. And I really love the community because it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot because I grew up where I grew up at, right? So being in a completely different environment, it's just like, wow. This is kind of cool. Just having that open mind. And one of my close friends, they're trans. And I have this thing where I'm like, girl, and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, dude. And he'd be like, it's okay. He said, because I know that's just you. You'll be like, girl, troll, child, whatever. But I still always feel bad. And so I tell people, I say, if I mispronoun you, please tell me. And if you have to tell me 3 or 4 times, please don't think I'm doing it on purpose, because I'm not. And so that's like an ongoing thing for me. Is number one to try and remember their name. So then I can just say their name. And I appreciate what Locke did in one of my other live streams when I was mentioning Colin's eyeshadow declutter. I kept saying the wrong pronoun. And then Locke made a comment that had the pronoun that Colin goes by. And I remember saying, thank you, Locke, because I didn't realize I was mispronouncing. And so I do tell people, let me know. If I say something you think is off the wall, let me know. Because I will think about it. And that happens. Not too often do I misgender at the Playhouse, because people names I remember, I just call them by their name, which is easier for me. But then I'd be forgetting people's names. So then I'm like, that person right there. And they be looking at me like, we know you trying. But it has been really just an eye-opening experience being around so many different people. Tanya says it's difficult staying PC in the LBGTQA plus arena. What's PC, Tanya? And she says she messes up sometimes. What's PC? You know, I'll be knowing all them acronyms. You know what was weird the other day? Somebody had put ODD, ODD, and I'm thinking, what's that acronym? And they were like, no, odd, it's just the word. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's the actual word, and I'm thinking acronyms. Oh, politically correct. But you know, it changes a lot, and for some people, it changes because there's been people I've known for like 8 years as one gender, and then all of a sudden they're another one, and then I'm like, and then like 3 months later it'll be back to the other one, and that's when I'm like, I need to just remember their name because I'm not going to remember, because some do go back and forth, which is fine. So as not to offend anyone. Yeah, and that's what I told him. If I mispronounce you, please say so. Please let me know because it's not intentional, and I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I love the community. It's so it's been very eye opening, and I love it because who doesn't like to grow and meet more people? And it's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So it is really cool. And that's one of the many things that the community has done for me is to help me be more open minded. And I love it because y'all know I love to learn. And so I'm like, yeah. So I already talked about not listening to my gut instinct. I already said that. Janessa says, I can't speak for everyone, Tanya, but for me, I feel like I can tell the difference between someone who is trying and maybe makes a mistake and someone who is truly being malicious. And that's what my friend says. They're like, oh, I know you don't mean anything by it. Because all the times I'd be like, for other people, I'd be like, hey, girl. And so something happened. I'd be like, girl, let me tell you. And they're just like, don't worry about it. They said, I know it's not intentional. And they say, I notice you do just say that to everybody anyway. And so, and that is, and people can tell. But I still always feel bad because I've known this person for like over 2 years. So it's like, why am I not getting it? Like, what the hell? But, yeah, it is a difference, and people can tell. And because we're friends, too. We're friends. I'm definitely not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings anyway, even if we're not friends. But now that I don't get with calling myself a cis woman, now that I don't get with is calling myself a cis woman, I don't fully understand it and just a woman. A cisgender woman is someone who identifies as a woman who was born with female organs, female sex organs. So that's what a cis woman is that you're born with a vagina and ovaries and cervix, and you identify as a woman. So that's what cis means. And a cis man is someone who identifies as a man that was born with male sex organs. So that's what that's about. Y'all, I learned so many. I be learning a lot in the community. And just being around, and you know what it is? It's because I grew up in inner city, so I grew up around people like me. And so being here, like in Delaware, is a new thing, and being, down at the play space, it's a completely different crowd, and I love it. I love it, and it teaches me a lot. And so, what else? What other learning lesson? Because I don't just want to do my list. Like, let's learn from each other here. I do look pasty. Why am I looking pasty? I used the soft lit and the cashew powder. I look pasty. Excuse me. I'm going to put on some Eternal Light or something because that makes me toasty. Excuse me. Tanya, I'm an ally. Had to be for the job I used to have. Don't be an ally, be an accomplice. Be an accomplice. I'm going to use this big Sigma brush that came free gift with purchase. They be giving free good gifts with purchase. This is the F30. It's not as big as Scott Barnes. They almost, but the shapes are different. Scott is like all the way around, where this is kind of tapered. But Scott is just fluffy all the way around. But I do like this brush too, though. I've been using it a lot. Somebody had asked in one of the... Tanya says, all right then. Somebody asked in a Zoom I was in, they said, what's the difference between an ally and an accomplice? And I think I mentioned this in a live stream before. because I feel like I did. I tell y'all so much stuff. I'd be like, I know I had to have said it. Hey, Alicia. An ally is with, yeah, I'm with you. I support your cause. I'll sign your petition. Janessa says, I've learned that I am my own biggest critic. A lot of us are, Janessa. Me too. I will place much higher standards on my work than anyone else. And sometimes I feel it's okay to relax and breathe. It's not the end of the world. I'm like that when I'm working at the Playhouse. Like when I'm in work mode. So this is Eternal Light. Oh, what was I saying? Damn it. This is Eternal Light. Y'all see that? This makes me toasty that quick. Y'all see that? What was I getting ready to say? Damn it. Damn it. It was a good one, too. Couldn't have been that good. I forgot. Y'all see how this is toasting? What was I saying, y'all? Somebody remind me what I was saying. Damn. I hate when that happens. See, now look how I look. I don't look toasty now. I mean, ghastly now, right? Somebody tell me what I was saying. See, now my face is almost the same shade as my chest area. Almost, because I was looking really ghastly. That's such a pretty cheek color on you. Thank you. These two, the blushes? Or are you talking about Eternal Light? This is a finishing powder from Hourglass. The finishing powder finishes the face. I don't put it under my eyes, though. Thank you, Janessa. Being an accomplice. Somebody asked, what's the difference between being an ally and an accomplice? And they said, ally is like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to ride with you. I'll sign your petitions. Yada, yada, yada. And they said, and accomplice is, we're going to ride together. We're going to die together. Let me know who I need to stick. So an accomplice is when you're willing to get down and dirty for the cause and not just, oh yeah, I'll hold the flag, I'll hold the sign. No, you're going to be on the front line kicking people's ass. So think of accomplice as in the criminal justice term, an accomplice. You were an accomplice to theft. You were an accomplice to this, meaning you had a part to play in that. So yeah, be my friend, be an ally, sign my petitions, but accomplice, what I need to do. What I need to do. And so that's the difference. See, look at Eternal Light. I'm not even pasty anymore. And you can still see all the colors of everything underneath it. So that's the difference between an ally and accomplice. Because anybody can sit and sign a petition. Anybody can stand there and hold a little sign. But what else you going to do? When the rubber hit the road, what you going to do? That's an accomplice. I will get down and dirty with you. And so, yeah, they were like, oh, okay. So I don't think they were ready to be an accomplice yet. Because they were like, Because it is more work than just showing up. Okay, you showed up, but what are you going to do while you're here? You know what I mean? And so, so those are always interesting topics when people ask that. Because then they're like, oh. Their face almost looks like, damn, I got to actually do something. I didn't know I had to do work. Like, yeah. And if you hear the sirens, you ain't going to run off. We still going to be locked arm in arm. We're going to be right there. What? You take one, you're going to take us all. But so yeah, that's an accomplice. And some people are okay with that. And some people are like, no, I'll just hang back and just be like, hey, I support y'all from over here. And the accomplice is going to be like, what? What we got to do? So that's the difference with that. So what else have y'all learned this year? A life learning lesson. And when I was talking about changing off-center perspectives, that includes mine too. Like if I realize, like, you know what? That way of thinking ain't really it. To work on changing my own perspective about stuff, as well as allowing other people to challenge my perspectives, and I challenge theirs as well. Also, what I learned this year, and I kind of been knew this, but sometimes it takes a while for it to stick. My nose is looking really toasty. So what I do, the same brush I use for the toast, I put back on my nose. I learned this long time ago, but it's still it still can hurt. It can still hurt. And this one is that if I change and if I set these boundaries for myself, I may lose some people in my life because everybody is not going to change with you. And how they say, wherever you're going, everybody isn't meant to go with you. And it can be sad because you want your people to be there with you. And so just being okay with knowing you may lose people as you grow and as you change. And when you set your boundaries, some people are going to rebel against that. And some may end up not being in your life. And I have to be okay with that. If I want my friendships and relationships to be reciprocal. Because if I don't, just keep doing what I'm doing. But I don't want to do that. I want to have quality friendships and quality relationships. And so just knowing that as I change, everybody's not going to still ride with me. And that's okay. I can let you off at the stop sign. It's okay. Matter of fact, when I slow down to 5 miles an hour, just jump out the car. just jump out the car when I slow down to 5 miles an hour. And that could be hard, especially if it's somebody who's been in our life for a long time, or a relationship you're in and it's not a good one, but you don't really quite want to let them go, but you know that you should. And you're feeling that way because you've changed and you've set new boundaries. People aren't going to abide by your boundaries all the time. Tanya said, I have a quote on my wall. The more I find myself, the more people I lose. That's a good quote because that is how it is. And working when I was directing the addiction program, when one or two decided to get sober, it ruined the relationship. Because number one, I can't be sitting here with you and you getting drunk every night and I'm not drinking because I'm trying to get sober. That ain't going to work. And so your person may not want to take that ride with you and be sober. And so what are you going to do? And some people are triggered by that, where they're just like, I don't want to go anywhere where there's alcohol even served. And so how am I coming home to you every day and you have, a couple glasses of wine after dinner every day? And so that's one of those situations and it happens a lot. When one person gets well, the relationship ends up ending because the other person is not on that same road that they're on now. And yes, they change courses. Both of them drinking all the time. One decides they want to get well. So what happens? There's a divide right there because they're trying to get well and this person isn't. So the relationships end up ending. And the same goes for, substance use, other bad behaviors, gambling, whatever you want to do. The relationships usually don't last because one is getting healthy and the other one isn't. And so what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So that's another one, is just knowing you might lose people. As you get better, as you change, as you create boundaries and maintain your boundaries, you might lose some people. And it's important for us to know that it is okay. And I knew that long time ago, maybe a good 20 years ago, because something happened and I had to let somebody go. And it did bother me, but I knew for my sanity, and y'all know I'm a little on the line anyway, being sane or insane. It doesn't take me much. But I knew, I refuse to keep going in these circles. And I had to cut somebody off. And it was painful. And it was hard. And it was a family member, too. So they've been around my entire life. And it's like when I see you, hello, give a hug, and that's it. No conversation. We're not going to sit down and chit-chat. I'm not going to pretend. And I did tell the person what my decision was and why. If they're really important to me, I will tell them why. And then I'll back out. I won't just disappear. All of a sudden, why you ain't calling me no more? I will tell them. And then I'm letting you know this is my decision from here moving forward. 2024, Sarah said, I learned to be intentional at voicing that my feelings are valid. Yes, girl. And they matter. Yep. If standing my ground for myself offended anyone, peace out. Yep. Because some people will be offended. They'll be like, why you treat me like this? Well, motherfucker, you've been treating me like shit for the last 2 years. What do you mean? Why am I treating you like this? And so some people will make it seem like you're the problem because they see nothing wrong with their behavior of how they treat you or how they talk to you. And Tanya says, right, for our own sanity and peace, they got to go. Yep. And we may need to make that choice because especially if they don't see anything wrong with it, or if they keep justifying their own behavior, you can justify your own behavior on the other side of the door. Janessa said that's a hard lesson. It is. If someone only wants to be in your life, if you mold yourself to what they want exactly, then they don't deserve to be in your life. Absolutely. And relationships and friendships should be give and take, that back and forth, and it should be reciprocal. But some people, everything is all about them. And I'm like, my life ain't all about you. If you want to be a part of it, it needs to be reciprocated. But, and it is a hard lesson because sometimes we get into relationships and friendships and as we go along, we start seeing things and we're just like, that is not quite right. What am I going to do about it? Don't say anything or say something. If I say something, it might be an argument. If I say something, they might hear me and they might work at it. But what if they don't? So then we're going back and forth on what are we going to do? Are we even going to voice it? Because some people will be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that had that effect on you, and I try and get better. And other people be like, what are you talking about? So it is hard. I agree with you, Janessa. It is a hard lesson. And we have to be willing to let people go. If it's worth it to you to have a conversation and tell them how you feel and what you're going to be doing from here forward, then have that conversation. If it's not worth it to you, then don't. Because there's been, most times I will have a conversation, a face-to-face conversation with the person and stay the same, I'm going. And not because nobody has to change for me. If that's who you are, just be who you are. We're just not compatible to be in each other's life. And then there's been maybe two people actually when I was just like, I'm done. I ain't even talking to them. Nah, fuck that. Because of how the situation was, I'm like, I ain't even got nothing to say to you. Like because just being around them, it's like they think they're always right about everything. So why am I going to waste my breath? But it's only been two people. Everybody else, and it's only been a handful of people. It's not like a lot of people. It's been just a handful, not even that. Maybe like 4, maybe 5 people, which is a handful. And this is over the years that, I had a face-to-face conversation, told them how I feel. Not quite a narcissist. That people use that word, and being in a clinical field, it means something different than what people just toss out there like that. But I'm not going to get into that here because I've dealt with narcissists in my clinical journey. And sometimes it bothers me when people are like, oh, narcissist this. And I'm just like, that ain't. It's more to it than just not wanting somebody to tell you what you said is wrong. Like it's a lot more to it than that. But so we have to be willing. Yeah, so it's only been the handful. I did have a face-to-face conversation because my thought was, I really care about this person. And we've had conversations before. Tanya says, do we confuse that with arrogance? I believe so. I believe people do use narcissism and arrogance synonymously, and it's two completely different things. Because I'm like, this person, we were real close for a long time. Excuse me. Oh, did y'all hear that? Excuse me. And I feel like it's worth it to have a conversation because things used to be friggin' awesome. And then somewhere a corner got turned and I'm like, I ain't going down that street with you. And so I'm like, it's worth it for me to have that conversation because maybe they don't really realize it. And their response tells me, okay, this is really just who you were all along and I didn't see it till later, or you just don't care about how I really feel. And nobody has to change. And so that's why we have to be willing to have that boundary and to just let it go. But yeah, it's only been 2 people that I ain't even bother. I was just like, it ain't even worth my energy. It ain't even worth my breath. Like I'm just done. But I am a fan of having conversations. But if you really know that, by how this person acts and what they say, don't waste your energy. If you feel like it's not, like, if you really feel like it's not going to make a difference, then don't bother. But for me, it was worth it, 5 of the times to have a conversation. Because for me personally, I need to feel like I did what I could do and not just be like, bye, and just get up and walk away. Especially, if, as I said, somebody that was really close to me at one point. but knowing we may lose people and to be okay with it. And that's not to say we won't ever miss them, or there might not be a day. There may be a day and it's like, oh, wow. You're thinking about the person, you think the call, and then it's like, oh, wait, I have that boundary. Nope, leave it where it is. And so sometimes we have to remind ourselves, because if we've ever really loved someone, for me, loving someone doesn't change. Just because I might walk away from our friendship or relationship, that doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. And so that's what makes it difficult for me sometimes. When I think of someone, I'm like, wow, I wonder how they're doing. Well, I'll never know. I'm not messaging, I'm not calling. Good night, Locke. Thanks for being here when you could. So that's the thing with that, is maintaining that boundary. Even when you miss them, you want to talk to them, you wonder how they're doing. Think about the good people in your life that reciprocate and let that one go. So what else has somebody learned for this year so we can help each other out? Because someone may have had a lesson that somebody else might be like, oh, that's a good one. I need to do that. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about loving people from afar, not tolerating bad behavior. And I talked before, too, about guarding my peace fiercely and not allow someone to gaslight you because you're not doing what they want you to do. So it's really just standing your ground. And it took me a long time to find my peace. And since then, I will guard it fiercely. Like, you ain't bringing no bullshit over here. You are not. So, somebody tossed in another life lesson. I have 3 more. I have 3 more. So what do y'all have? Another one of mine's, personally and mentally, is giving myself grace and being gentle with myself, particularly through a grieving process. Because y'all know my grandmother a couple years ago, my cousin a year or so ago, and then my uncle just passed. And it seems like yesterday that my cousin passed. I mean, it's still really fresh in my mind, and my grandmother too, for that part. But giving myself grace and knowing it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to cry. It's okay to just couch rot, as Janessa says, and just do nothing for a day. It's okay to just sit in my feelings and know that it's okay. Like, something horrible just happened and I'm dealing with it the best I can, but today I just need to couch rot. I need to just do nothing and just zone out and just eat ice cream and pizza and binge watch Tubi or Hulu or something. And to know that it's okay. And that it's also okay to reach out to our support system. Those that we know really care for us and really love us, to just call them and be like, hey, I'm struggling. Like, I'm having a bad day. Grace says she learned, stop looking for things you're not willing to give. Oh, girl, that one hit my soul. Stop looking for things you're not willing to give. Oh, yo, people will want so much from you and don't give you shit back. And it's like, excuse me? Yeah. It's ridiculous. At our age, it is ridiculous. Janessa says, yes, being willing to ask for help. Yeah, and struggle with that hardcore. My struggle is, it's like, I know a lot of people, but all of them ain't that ride or die. So I'm like really selective of who I actually get down and dirty with. And when I say down and dirty with someone, that means I'm going to bare my soul to you because I know you're not going to mishandle it. And so, because somebody said before, what do you mean rock hard with somebody? What do you mean by ride or die? And so I've had to explain it. And so when I say rock hard, that means I know this person is there for me, good, bad, or indifferent. Good day, bad day, lukewarm day, like they are there and they will support me, and it's reciprocated. I do the same for them. Alicia says, true, they take and use and use. Yeah, so we have to set the boundary and be like, you're not taking no more. Because at that point, they're not taking it, we're giving it. If you know they're a taker and you keep giving them stuff, you're giving it. Nah. Cut that string. But yeah, it is hard, but it makes me sad sometimes when I think about all the people in my life versus the people that I rock hard with, that I know I can trust with my soul. So it's like, what's all these people in my life for? When it's only like this little group over here that I could really talk to. But then, that's how life is. And I was reminded that there's different types of friendships, because I take the word friend very seriously. If I say someone's a friend, that's my accomplice, that's my ride or die, and we've been rocking hard for a while. And so other people, I'm just like, That's why I don't call everybody my friend. It means more to me than, oh, we get along, that's my friend. Okay, good for you. Like, but that's just me. And I know a lot of people say different. Um, it takes a lot for me to call somebody a friend. It does. But, so I had to learn that there's different levels of friendship. There's acquaintance, there's work associates. But I'm like, no, I want ride or dies and accomplices, because that's what I'm gonna give to you. You know what I'm saying? but then I have to acknowledge and accept that everybody's not like that, and it's okay, because I know I'm a little, you know what I'm saying. Also this year, learning to set mental health boundaries, and y'all been here for some of that nonsense. Well, not that that part is nonsense, but the backstory was just like, girl, why you keep doing this? Yeah. So what else? What's another learning lesson? Somebody taught something out there. I got one more. I only got one more. And then we're going to go. But I want to hear from y'all, because this isn't just about what I've learned. And I am hoping that it's helping you, just us having this discussion. But I do want you guys to say your part too, because something you might have learned, somebody else might be like, oh, I need to work on that too. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us, I can say this for a fact. There's something in each of us that we probably should work on to make ourselves a better us, and not for anybody else, but just for us to be better. And so, we're always learning, we're always growing. And when I meet someone that says, oh, I met somebody like this, and I was like, that is so sad. They had said, I think they were in their 60s, and this was like years and years ago. So if they're still living, they might be like in their 80s right now. But they were like, I'm 60 something years old. I done learned enough. I'm not learning anything else. The way my life is how it's going to be, and how I think is how it's going to be. And I'm like, that is so sad. Just because you're 60 something don't mean you still can't learn. Doesn't mean there's not still something about you that you can improve for yourself to be a better person tomorrow than you are today. But they were like, I'm done learning, that's it. And I'm like, damn, that was so sad. Setting boundaries is self-care, not selfish. Exactly, bestie. I was talking to somebody before, and I'm like, self-care and prioritizing yourself is not selfish. And I use the analogy of when you're on a plane, they say put your oxygen mask on first before you help somebody else, because you will die trying to help somebody else because you ain't help yourself first. That is not selfish. And I tell people, you can only give me so much of who you are if you're not at your best. Think about that. If you're not at your best, you can only do so much for me. You have to be your best today, and then tomorrow be your best tomorrow, and the next week, because we're still changing, we're still growing. And so it's never like, oh, I've arrived. I might have arrived at the grocery store. But where am I mentally? You know what I mean? Like there's still there, as long as we're on this earth breathing, I believe there's more things that we can learn. And so it was just so sad for me when that person was like, I'm done learning. And I'm like, damn, that is so sad. Because that made me think of all the things they may miss out on life because they put themselves inside of a box. And again, that's why I love the alternative community. It has taught me so much. Like even just watching people, listening to people, being around different people. And y'all, I love it. I love it. And one of their parties, I'm not going to name the party, but it's a party specifically for queer people. But anybody can come. Anybody can come. But that one event is known to be this is this. And I work snack bar because I'm like, I just want to see. Like, I just want to be here. And Sarah says, enjoying life and spending time with myself. You know we can do that, Sarah. Going out to eat, movies, out of town, etc. I had a blast this year, and I'm looking forward to doing more. I kind of, you make me think of my neighbor. She goes places all the time, and I'm just like, I'm not outgoing like that though. Like I'll go to the movies, I'll go to dinner, but like she'll get on a train, go to a whole nother city to go to an event, and then come back. My sister, she was outgoing like that. If you told her about something she wanted to go to, she would be looking on bus schedules, the train lines. Where I'm just like, if you pick me up and take me, I'll go. I am not outgoing that way. And in a way, I kind of wish I was. And maybe it's because I get lost so easy. I'm like, because I'll be the one walking around with a piece of paper, like, where am I going? Like, what is it? And people be like, oh, she's a target. She's visiting. She don't know where she at. I would be the one that would have my little Nathaniel bag stolen because I'm looking so lost in the city. But Yeah, I'm one that if it's local, I'll go by myself. I will, and I have gone to things by myself in Philadelphia. But I'd be like, hey, you want to come with me to this thing? Okay, let's go. But yeah, I love that for y'all because that opens up a whole new world too. Like when you just get up and go. It could be out of state, it could be whatever, and just go. But I'm more like, how am I going to get there? Hell, coming home from my uncle's funeral, I went the wrong way and ended up 2 hours in the wrong direction. And I knew where I was. But then my mind was really somewhere else, though, too. Tanya says she loves going places alone. And that's something I need to change next year. I haven't been to the movies since before COVID. I have not. But then I got all these platforms on my TV. So I'm like, do I need to go to the movies? But I do, though, just to get out. And when I do go out, I do feel better. Just fresh air and all that. And so yeah, setting those mental health boundaries, and it's not being selfish. We talked on one of the live streams about self-care. We did that. Excuse me. The very first one was, you're amazing, right? So we started off, that week of lives with that, because sometimes we need to just be reminded, like we're okay. I mean, yes, we can change some things to be better for ourselves, but like right now in this moment, we real cool. And so someone else say another learning lesson. I have one more life lesson. Not taking on others' issues or trying to fix them. If somebody's an asshole, it's not your fault. Stop trying to make them not be an asshole. It's not your job. That's their job to fix themselves. You can tell them, why don't you call a therapist? But after that, your job is done. Sarah says, yes, indeed, I'm moving around. I was a single parent, caregiver for both my parents, and it's to me time for me to enjoy as much of life as I can. Absolutely. And you've done a lot, like you said. That was hard. Like that to me just sounds hard. Being a single parent is hard. Being a caregiver is hard. And yeah, it's your time. And I am very excited that you are, living your best life and doing as much as you can and being outgoing like that, because I am not that outgoing. And sometimes I wish I was, but then I'm like, I don't want to not accept myself for who I am, because if I didn't accept myself for who I am, then I would feel like shit that I'm not how somebody else is, if that makes sense. Lesson, says Janessa, sometimes it's really not that deep. Yeah. Sometimes people mean to be hurtful, but sometimes they are just bumbling through like me. I choose many fewer battles than I used to. Yeah. My thing. There's times when I just want to say stuff, and I'll be like, because I want to say something, and then the thought is like, it ain't that deep. So I'll be like, or somebody will ask me a question, and I'm like, give me a minute. Because I'm trying to think of how to say it. Because sometimes it's really not. And even though it's something that's serious to me, it might not be that serious to the other person. Yo, I still got hives. Did I tell you the other day I had hives? From them, from palm oil. Did I tell y'all that in the live stream? I didn't take a Benadryl today because it knocks me out. Y'all, I slept. Look how pink my hands are. Like my hands are not the same complexion or my arms as my face. Like this is, who the hell? I was texting Princess, and we had this long ass text chat like we usually do. And I think I might have went to bed at like maybe 9 or 10 in the morning on Sunday morning, because I worked at the Playhouse Saturday night. My shift was over Sunday morning at 2. So I went to sleep about 9, 10 o'clock Sunday morning. Y'all, I woke up Monday morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Went to sleep 10 a.m. Sunday. Woke up 4 a.m. Monday because of that Benadryl. I would wake up, I'm still itchy, like I'm itchy now. Take that Benadryl, go right back to sleep. And when I take that Benadryl, y'all, I don't move. I wake up 4 hours later in the same exact position I went to sleep in. That Benadryl. So I didn't take it today because I had an appointment today and I had to go out, and I knew I was doing this. But after this, I'm going to fix dinner and then take one because they're very itchy. But yeah, you're not trying to fix other people. PTSD for military has paranoid, but I have to push myself out there. You're doing great, Sarah. You really are. Tanya says I go codependent anonymous to keep my people pleasing to the minimum. It's good that, and what I love about the life lessons is that we know what we need to do. Like we know what our issue is, we know what our triggers may be, and we're doing something to alleviate some of the, the symptoms or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's the good thing. And that's why I'm glad that you guys are chiming in, because it's one thing people are like, oh, I'm not perfect, but then they act like they think they really are. But when we really face ourselves and say, I have this issue, but I'm working on it, so I'm doing this, that is admirable. And that's what life is about, is accepting who we are while knowing what we would like to change to be better, and actually doing that thing and not just saying it and just thinking it's going to happen by itself. And that takes work. And that's why a lot of people give up on therapy. A lot of people give up on trying to be better because it's hard. It's hard to say, yeah, I know I can say stuff and I sound like a bitch sometimes, but you know what? That ain't my problem. Yes, it is my problem. It's my problem because I don't want to be offensive and I don't want to hurt people's feelings. So that means I need to think more before I speak, and also think of how to say it where it's not going to sound so harsh. People don't want to think that way. They want to be like, well, that's their problem. They don't like it. No, it's my problem because I don't want to hurt people. You see what I'm saying? So just turning it to be like, what can I do to change that? And it's hard to do that. Much needed rest. I've been drawn to this job and then some. I was just like, I looked at my phone. I'm like, damn, it's like Monday morning. Like I slept Sunday away. I was like, fuck. So I ate dinner. I got up, I fixed dinner. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm eating freaking dinner. But probably like 4:30 at that point. And then I watched a movie and started dozing off again. Took another Benadryl, brushed my teeth, washed my face, got right back in bed. And today being Monday, I had my alarm set to get up, go to my appointment, errands, come home, and now I'm here. So after this, I made dinner and take me a Benadryl, because sometimes it's not as itchy, but I noticed when I was sitting here, I kept going like this. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, I need to, yeah. But I was knocked the hell out, y'all. I woke up in the same exact position I went to sleep in. I was just like, fuck. Benadryl ain't no joke. And it's only the lowest dose. I'm just like what, 25 milligrams or something? Maybe I should cut it in half. But that, oh my God. Yeah, so it's one thing to know or to think what we would like to change in ourselves to be better. The other piece is, are we really going to do it? And that's what I hear y'all saying, is that you guys are doing it. And I love that. And I thank y'all for sharing all of that, because our life is not only about us. If we want to have meaningful relationships, and friendships is a form of relationship too. If we want to have meaningful relationships, we got to have ourselves straight. Otherwise, we'll just be going along with the okie doke. And I know all of us has went along with some okie doke at some point, because all of us in here is grown. So we done been through some shit. Some self-imposed because we didn't listen to ourselves, or we justified other people's behaviors, or we were trying to fix other people's behaviors. Oh yeah, we got to fix them. You can't fix nobody. Fix yourself. And that's what life lessons are for, to help us fix ourselves, and so that we can be better. And I hate when I hear people say, like say you have a breakup, and they'll say, yeah, you learned a lot. You'll be better for the next partner. I'm not trying to be better for the next partner. I'm trying to be better for myself. Like what I'm learning and growing and implementing in my life isn't for another person. It's for me. It's for me. I don't care how much you love somebody. I don't care how much they love you. It's going to be something that you're going to be like, and they're going to be like, oof. It's because we're human. We are not going to like every single thing the other person does. And so we just have to. I was talking to a family member, and I'm laughing because the first time Fabulous 50osity did my face, y'all were in the comments like, damn. Like y'all was just like, and somebody said, I wish I had a friend like that, when we could just like say whatever. But I have a family member, them with their spouses like that. It's just like, they just be like, like I'm being Fabulous 50osity, be going at it, but it's all love. And I just be like, damn, like them two, they off the wall. They are off the hook. And so I was talking to one time, and I'm like, how y'all been together like almost 30 years? Like how the hell? Because y'all are off the chain. And you know what they said to me? They said, we know each other's pressure points, and we just do our best not to press them. And I was like, damn. So I was like, but that's something they had to learn because you know how to do that dig. You know how to do that dig. And he said we both learned where them points were, and we just try to avoid them. But it's just funny like watching them together because it's like this kid coming to blows. Like what the hell? How y'all make it this long? It's always like picking your battles wisely, which is what Janessa was saying. To let me read what she wrote again. Yeah, sometimes it's not that deep. And even if we think it is to us, is it really? Like, is the world going to start spinning on its axis? No. So, like, and if it's not hurting you mentally or physically, then, yeah. Sometimes people mean to be hurtful, but sometimes they're just, bumbling through life like we are. Yeah. And the thing is if you really know the person and they know you, they'll be able to tell the difference. Yeah, I choose many fewer battles than I used to. Me too. I ain't got the energy. I'm just like, if you like it, I love it for you. And in my mind, I'm like, that is so stupid. But if you like it, I love it for you. And go about my business. Because it's not that deep. That's not my life. They're living their life. I'm living my life. Excuse me. But that is absolutely true. One thing I noticed about when my phone is vertical, the chat stays at the bottom. When it's horizontal, it shows up and then it fades away, and then I got to push the button for it to come back. I just not realized that was one of the differences. And so, how are y'all feeling? Are we good to go? Or I don't want to leave. Like, if through this conversation somebody started feeling down or sad or some kind of way, like let us know so we don't just leave you hanging before we go. But if everybody's good, we can go. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you, Grace, for the gift. The blushes. Yo, this powder, even though it made me toasty, like look at my chin and my forehead. And I put it on my cheeks too. You can still see everything underneath it. You see that? You see got chills and heroin. Why am I thinking of the drug? And no, I never did that one. Y'all notice I said that one, right? Hey, y'all, I grew up in the city. I was buck wilding. Not really, though. I had my moments, but I was never out there like that. I was out there, but not like that. If y'all catch what I'm saying. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. But anyway, so is everybody good? Because I don't want to leave anybody hanging out. I guess everybody's okay. Nobody said they're not. I'm going to put labels on all of this. This lipstick feels like it is nothing on my lips. Oh my gosh. And y'all know I like me some liquid lipsticks. This feels really nice. It's sloppy. I think it was bleeding. Because this is not my lip line down here. This is not our lip line. Look at that. That was not... What the hell? Maybe I was talking too much. Yeah, I'm going to need a lip line. I do have a brown lip liner. It was all the way down here, and that ain't my lip line. This is my lip line. What the hell? But, but I love it. Sarah says she's good. Thanks for sharing, everyone. I appreciate and love all of you. And we love you too, Sarah. I do appreciate all of you sharing because sometimes, we learn stuff and some of these topics that we talked about, it can be heavy. It can be, we talked about seasonal affective disorder and all of that. So we have talked about some heavy stuff last week and even this one. But I kind of wanted to bring it back to some good stuff. What did we learn? Even though it might have been hard, it might have been challenging, but we learned it and we're working on it. And that's the good thing. And so I want all of you to know, yes, you are amazing. And you friggin' rock. That's why y'all in the Crazy Troll Nation. We are amazing trolls here. And so thank you for sharing everything. And, just know that if y'all have nowhere else to go, you can stay on this train because we're going to deal with whatever we need to deal with. If you're a member and you have a request for a topic, feel free to drop that down to me somewhere. And we will definitely do that. And our next live, I think, is the last one for this year. And we're going to talk about What's going to be a year in review. And I know a lot of people are doing those types of videos, but so I'm not. But what are my takeaways for 2024? So if you don't forget, y'all, I'm itchy. If y'all don't forget, start thinking about that. What are some of your takeaways from 2024? And in my notes, I have, oh, the shoulder started hurting because me doing like this. This is my bad shoulder. Um, I have for my business life and for like YouTube, and I want to talk about my goals for my YouTube channel. So if you do content, think about what are your goals for next year. We're going to talk about in the next live stream, as well as our takeaways. Oh, fuck. Our takeaways for 2024 and what our goals are for 2025. And so that'll be the last one this year. Y'all, the end of this year is like a week and a half away. Like, what the hell? Where did the time go? Hold on one more thing. Okay, Columbo, Sarah. I know, right? I know. I love that guy. Our greatest engagement and interaction is top tier. And it is much appreciated because I do want, I did want some of these to be interactive because I can just say whatever, but like, what do y'all say? Like, let's help each other. My voice is not the only voice that's worth being heard. Y'all voices are worth being heard too. Let someone know how you feel about them when you do have the opportunity, says Sarah. Absolutely. And years ago, probably back in the early 2000s, I met a family and they would always say I love you to each other. Before they would leave the house, I love you. And before they end the phone call, I love you. They texting me and before we get done, I love you. And I was like, I never knew a family like that. And so I started doing that. And so that got me in the habit of telling people how I feel. And it was the weirdest thing because then when I would start saying it to my biological family, we'd be on the phone, okay, talk to you later. I would say, love you. And they would be like, oh, okay, thanks. And that would be it. Because they were so uncomfortable with it. Or they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, you too. And so after a while, I stopped because they were so awkward with it. I'm like, let me just stop. And I wish that I would not have stopped. Because you get in the habit of saying it, just say how you really feel. And so I started picking that up again. And so, like, even if when I'm at a family member's house and we having to get together or something, my family love to eat, y'all. We get together for some food in a heartbeat. And I'm getting ready to go. I go around, hug everybody, love you, I'll see you soon. Someone be like, love you too. And some be like, okay. Or someone be like, thank you. Who's good at it though are my nieces and my nephews. They be like, love you too, auntie. But it was just really different how seeing and realizing it's easy to say how you feel. And it was also just, not to say weird, but just different, saying it, and other people don't, they get awkward. They don't know what to do or what to say. Oh, yeah, okay, thanks. And it's just like, okay. But yeah, so I started doing that again. But it really was throwing them off. And I'm just like, yeah, because not being used to it. But I have gotten back to that though, because it is important to tell people how you feel. If you love them, tell them you love them. If y'all are just cordial, but you were like in a group environment, be like, it was good seeing you, because it probably really was good seeing them. Like, it was good seeing you today. All right. See you next time. But whatever you feel, and not, if it's something bad, just keep it to yourself. But there's always something good. Like, you can really not stand a person, but it was like, oh, I'm glad you came today. Like, it's something, you can say something positive. You can say something positive. Oh, it's good that you showed up. Oh, my left knee just popped. What the? Ow. Y'all. I'm like itching, my elbow hurting, my knee popping. Woo. Yes, share the good, said Alicia. Yep. And Sarah says true. Yeah, let people know how you feel. Because even if they don't, or they don't know what to say, at least you said your part. At least you said how you feel, and they know how you feel because you told them. And I do think that's important because life is fucking hard, y'all. And I know we all know because all of us are grown, but yeah, let people know. So we're going to go, y'all. Thank you so much, so much. We'll be back here. Oh, actually, shoot, Wednesday. Annabelle. Why was I thinking of that movie? Because I think it's on Netflix, and I've seen it like 3 times, and it's still on there. Do I like ice cream? Yes, I do. Tanya says her left knee has been giving her trouble too. I moved my leg and it popped. I was like, what the hell? Glad you're here, Annabelle. Thank you for popping in. So we're gonna go. We'll be here Christmas. There is something I'm gonna do, but it's not a topic. So we're just gonna just hang out, chit chat, whatever you want to talk about. Just keeping each other company. Those of us who will be home. My family dinner is tomorrow night, so Wednesday I'll be here. So thank you, Annabelle. Good night, everyone. And Jane, a Merry Christmas with love. You gotta explain that, Alicia. What is Jane and Mary? Y'all don't be mad. Y'all know I'm confused easily. Don't do that, Alicia. And Jane, is there a Jane in here or was that a typo? All right, we're gonna go, y'all. I'm confused. Thank you, Alicia. Oh, have a Merry Christmas, not Jane. Okay, thank you. Because I was like, who's she seeing here that I see? All right, so anybody that's not doing anything on Wednesday, we'll be here 8 o'clock, same time. I don't think it's a raggedy iPhone. I think it's that autocorrect because that thing be messing up a lot of people. They just type it and send it, and then they read it afterward and be like, "Oh, then they have to write what they really meant." So anybody that's just home, you just want to hang out, we'll be here 8 o'clock Wednesday. No particular topic. So I did a poll, and the majority vote was be here. So we're going to be here. Well, I'll be here. You may be here. But yeah, so we'll see y'all Wednesday. And our next live with a topic that I already told you is next Monday. And then we'll be in the new year. Fuck. Thanks again, all y'all, for being here. We are going to go. Everybody have a wonderful night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is. Stay warm if you're somewhere where it's cold, because right now it's like 22 degrees outside here in Delaware. And our high today was 29. Winter. So thank you again. We will be here Wednesday. I have videos scheduled already for all week, and I still didn't schedule the other 3 or 4 that I needed to schedule like a week ago. But yeah, I'm going to eat and then take my regular meds. I am just scratching. Take my regular meds and a Benadryl after I eat. Because if I take it down, I will just like fall asleep. That shit knocks me out quick. But thank you again, Grace, for my new little bag and my face goodies and brushes. All right, y'all, we're going to go. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.